Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and this is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole. And here's my 2025 review of the 2025 Travers Stakes. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, looks like it's a two-horse race right now between Sovereignty and Journalism after Sovereignty won the Jim Dandy and Journalism winning the Haskell Stakes. There is no other 3-year-old, in my opinion, in the United States that can run with either one or both. The only way the Travers Stakes will fill if one or both decide not to run in the race due to injury or just not wanting to run and participate in the race. The race was absolutely scintillating the way that Sovereignty won the Jim Dandy. He broke so smart that he took the front lead away from Baeza and also Moplex, which was very surprising to me, and then just steadied back and just resolutely ran down by Isa, who ran in a superb race but was not good enough to beat Sovereignty. As in the journalism, these two look like the only two horses that might run in a match race. That is my opinion. I don't see any other horse that could run with either both. And though if it is a match race come for Travers Day, it will still get a big crowd on Travers Day at Saratoga Park. And maybe that's what the track people really want to see is these two match up just mano a mano, just one at each other. The horse I would definitely take would just be the small prize would be Journalism. And the way I see the fair odds, if they do run just a two-horse race in a race, be Journalism be at 4-5 and Sovereignty be doing 2-5. Knowing that Sovereignty will be the overwhelming favorite after beating Journalism twice in the Belmont and the Kentucky Derby. That's how I see that race manifesting. Like I said, there's not another 3-year-old, in my opinion, that's going to run with either two of the horses. Like I said, the only way this race fills up a little bit if they get more, if one or the other horse, both Sovereignty and Journalism, do not run in a Travers. I don't see that happening. On to other notes right now, watched the King George race out in Europe, and winner was Caladigan, and he looks like a real top horse. And I'm not sure if the trainer is going to shut him out. Caladigan's trainer had Goliath last year, who won the King George, and he didn't bring him out. He decided to run the Goliath in the Japan Cup, so I'm not sure he's coming out. Rebels Romance looked very good in that race. It's a marked race. He came on the inside. He had the 4 slot on the rail, bottled up with 4 horses. They're bottling up, and he could never get loose. So that is a very good, sneaky good race for Rebels Romance, and he's going to be much tighter going into at 4-2 the Breeders' Cup Mile and 1/2. I believe that's what Charles Appleby has intended for this horse. And he might get a semi-prize, especially if he gets horses like Caladigan if he decides to go to the Breeders' Cup, or a horse like Henry Matisse that might decide to leave the night, go to the mile 1/2. So you might see Rebels Romance doing something that another horse hasn't done in the mile and 1/2, win 3 out of 4 Breeders' Cup turf races. Horses also watched for was Nisos, who won the San Diego Mile. He's going to be pointed to the mile race. 1-9 in the race, Bob Baffer's horse, but he didn't run against anything. Miramati, Tarantino was in the race. The 8-year-old Express Train. And what does that tell you when you're running against 8-year-olds and horses that are really about G2 or G3 quality horses? He was respectively the 1-9 choice. He's going to take a lot of money being Bob Baffert and being horse that's going to be barned at Del Mar during the Breeders' Cup for the mile, but he's going to take be a vicious underlay, maybe around 6-5, which I would not take. Not sure Mindframe has settled that. Top Fletcher doesn't know if he's going to settle for the mile or the mile and 1/4. And speaking of Mindframe, Interconnections Fierceness is going to be running toward the Whitney Stakes again. Supposedly the field is supposed to fill out with Sierra Leone and also Wine and Barrio. And right now my pick would be Fierceness, that he would be the horse to beat. They have the common racing with White and Barry running in the Met Mile. They're going at the mile 1/8 Whitney. Sierra Leone ran a marked improved race at the Stephen Foster. That's going to be an incredible race. But unfortunately, again, Sierra Leone needs a bigger field to run into the speed. They need. I don't see the field drawing more of the 4 or 5 horses for the Whitney. I know the 3 of the top contenders will be those 3. I don't know the other 2, but right now Fierceness is the horse that I pick. He likes Saratoga. He does well at the track, and he will probably be, unfortunately, the prohibitive favorite in the race. Horse to watch out for the Breeders' Cup, Juvenile Colt. Maybe this is really early, but maybe they're pointing for the favorite for next year's Kentucky Derby, be Brandt. Horse worth $3 million won the main race at Del Mar. They're running the race at Del Mar. He looked exquisite running down the stretch and winning by his own. He was third off the pace, about 4 lengths off the embattled dual leaders, and he just pushed away and won by a country mile. Let me put it that way. Horse looks like three plus million right now. Right now, my fair odds on Brand is around 7-5, 6-5. If he stays well, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race will he be the favorite for the race. And going back to the Travers, where Sovereignty and also Journalism will run against each other. If it does come out to be a 2-horse race where nobody else shows up, those two might just run neck and neck for the whole mile and a quarter. That'd be an incredible race, and it'd be something that hallowed back to horses that match up really well, like affirmed in Aliadar back in '78 or back in 1989 when we had Sonny Sanis running against Easy Goer. It's the best of the West against the best of the East, and definitely Sovereignty holds a firm hand over Journalism after beating them twice. And again, these horses are the reason why they're so exceptional in the 3-year-old class is a way they cover the last eighth of a mile to the last 16th. That acceleration that is just unbelievable. I saw Sovereignty win without New when he beat River Thames, and I just said to myself, when I watched the race, he's not going to get River Thames, and he incredibly did. And that was the reason why he was my early Kentucky Derby pick after I went through the dossier. With all that, Journalism shows up with the same capability as Sovereignty, getting that last 1/8 and 1/16. Sovereignty, reason why he has the upper hand on Journalism right now, because journalism normally makes the first move. So Sovereignty and Junior Alvarado do the smart riding on Junior Alvarado is wait till he moves, then he moves right behind him. In a match race, Journalism might have a little bit more kinder natural speed. Now, through the race I saw to Jim Danny, I could be wrong on that when he broke out first. But the only way, like all match races are, is one on the speed on the front end, because you're challenging a horse to come with you. Also, the thing that goes underestimated in a match race is how well it's a jockey's race. You have to go back to a good example be where Lafitte Pink Eye had affirmed and William Shoemaker had Spectacular Bid out in New York, and just basically it was a rider's race where Lafitte Pink Eye just outrode Shoemaker. He kept them on the outside and he kept them on the inside. He had Will Shoemaker on Spectacular Bid, very confused, didn't know how to go, whether to go to the inside or dart to the outside. And a lot of this is a rider race and a dual race. And I'm just letting you know, fans, that this race could be just a match race, and it would be the speed and also the rider's race. Would it be Hubert Rosario? But Journalism is going to be Junior Alvarado with Sovereignty. My money is going to be, if that was the case, and my money still be on Journalism to take a little bit of a price. I believe that what I've seen with the two races, that that most handicappers know that Sovereignty has an edge on the class and the talent over Journalism. But sometimes a better ride through Rispoli, and he has more of a kind of natural speed, would be more to Journalism. Now, come to the breeding, as we know, Journalism is out of Curlin, where also Sovereignty's out of Into Mischief. And I always stated earlier in my videos that Curlin runs all day. They don't get haggard. A very good breed for horses that just don't wear it down. If he showed that Curlin showed that ability back in '07. That he stayed the whole year healthy. So my bet is on Journalism for the Travers. That's an early bet. I'm trying to get a little value. Sovereignty beats me, then well, he's beating everybody anyway. But he's already bet Journalism twice and might get a strong overlay. But if it's a 2-horse race, you're only looking at 2-5 to 4-5, and it's still going to be a good race to watch. A lot of people, you could probably get better money playing other gamblers at the track and say 100 even money. I'll play your 100 against my 100, and you're making better money. You really like Journalism? I'll take your money to 100 and 100. So you're probably going to get a better value with probably other gamblers or other race owners, or however you want to put it, better than the Paramuchos if it does run as a 2-horse race. And this is my report for today. Is going to be July 27th, 2025. And this is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole. Have a good, or winning in history, run neck and neck. Have a good morning, ladies and gentlemen.